Hey, I'm Allie, and we're talking about excellence. In my experience, excellence is often expected, rarely defined, yet incredibly subjective. And for me, this lack of consistency has made pursuing it feel pretty challenging and sometimes even discouraging. If you can relate, I just want to say that I'm here for you and want to offer some clarity. I'd love for us to explore God's posture towards excellence, why it's important, and how we can move towards it in a way that honors God and others. To explore God's posture and excellence, let's look at Scripture. So before David was anointed as king, God told the prophet Samuel that he had provided a king somewhere among David and his 7 brothers. Samuel assumed that God was talking about David's oldest brother because of his appearance. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7 says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, 'Do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart.'" This passage tells us that while we're distracted by the external, God is concerned about the internal. And I think this can translate so well into how we navigate excellence, because always, God is going to care exponentially more about our heart than he ever will about our art. And that's not to say that he doesn't care about our art. He does, and he delights in it. But what could it look like to examine our heart in the pursuit of our art? Start by asking yourself, why am I practicing? Is it so I don't mess up and embarrass myself? Am I looking for someone to tell me I did a good job? Am I grateful for this opportunity to grow and share my gifts? I want us to consider how God's desire for us to look and love more like him will best fuel our pursuit for excellence. And that perhaps the destination of this pursuit isn't the specific moment we prepared to arrive at, but instead the moments where we experience authentic worship and seeing his glory in our craft. Therefore, we can pursue excellence because we are very loved by a very excellent and creative God that cares about refining our hearts. And what's so cool is in the same way God is refining us individually, he's also refining our communities. He uses our gifts and our stories for the sake of refining the hearts and lives of others. And he uses the gifts and stories of others for the sake of refining us. That's incredible. So with that vision in mind, what can it look like for us to pursue excellence practically? I think that can look like a lot of things, but the first thing that comes to my mind is practicing. So in terms of practice, something that serves me well is time blocking. To give you an idea of what that can look like, at the beginning of each week, I put my practice times into my Google Calendar. And I spend about an hour per song that I'm preparing, and as a vocalist, moving towards excellence might look like memorizing the lyrics, the melody, a few harmonies per song, and just feeling good about all of those choices. Another thing that I do every week is try to spend at least 30 minutes a day on my vocal technique. Warm-ups like breathing exercises, sirens, and various scale intervals is typically how I fill that time. And obviously, this is going to look super different from person to person, but seriously, try carving that time out, because doing so makes practicing a priority, which makes your growth a priority, which is such wise stewardship. Another way you can move towards excellence is to cultivate a rhythm of watching yourself on video and receiving feedback. This is something I have come to love because not only do I grow, but so does my community. This is something I do weekly with my church's worship team, where we each rewatch the online service, acknowledge our own wins and misses, and then reach out to someone else on the team and give them some words of encouragement. Doing this has definitely deepened our trust, communication, and excellence as an entire team. For you, if that starts with you sending a video of yourself practicing or in rehearsal to someone you trust to give you honest feedback, go do that. It's super helpful. And finally, since sharing your craft is about delighting in God and serving your community, find opportunities to go do that. Alongside time blocking, watching yourself on video and receiving feedback from others, carving out time to be present and participate in what you want to grow in will result in growth. Simple as that. And speaking of simple, I want to leave us with this verse from Colossians as an exhortation as we continue to pursue excellence. Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 through 24 says, "Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ." Hope this helps. Thanks.